Welcome to Gun News in 5 minutes or less, where we will talk about events and happenings in the gun industry, ammunition pricing and so forth, politics related to firearms, personalities, new releases on the market, and anything else I can fit in. This is brought to you by DRDRAKE63. If you've been keeping up with this channel and updates specifically to the Remington Firearms Company, you know that we've been following the story of their acquisition by the Roundhill Group and a potential reopening of the Ilion, New York manufacturing facility quite closely. As I reported, the Roundhill Group was going to spend the month of February getting the plant ready to produce and bring back some number of workers, 200, 300, I heard different numbers, and they were supposed to open the doors March 1st. But wait, that's not going to happen. Here's a little bit more background, though, that I find interesting. Number one, the state of New York did indicate that they would recognize Remington as a new business under an existing name, reopening in Ilion, New York. As a new business, they would be eligible for tax breaks. But hold on. Even though that's the case, we're hearing from the Mayor of Ilion that doing so is going to cost the city, in terms of tax revenues, half of the $175,000 per year that they were getting from Remington. And so he's throwing his arms up saying this is a problem. I've got a question. You're not getting any of that right now, so isn't half better than nothing? I don't consider this a loss at all, but apparently that's how the mayor's looking at it. Also, the reasons given for the delay with no date in sight for the plant reopening are apparently surrounding negotiations between the Roundhill Group, the company that acquired Remington, and the United Mine Workers of America, who is the union that represents the currently laid off and or furloughed workers in the Remington plant. They've already laid off a bunch of them, and they're talking about bringing back, a couple hundred. According to the Roundhill Group, they need to see that if the union is willing to forgive some prior commitments, and commitments means in this context union pensions and benefits, in order to reopen. And they're saying, we don't know how that's going to work out. We'll leave that up to the bankruptcy court. Meanwhile, the union is saying they don't have any issues with the bankruptcy court. Let's reopen. It's also come to my attention that the union's plans are to bring back workers based on seniority, which may or may not means you're getting your best workers back. And we all know how unions work. And I'm not here today to do a diatribe on unions, other to say unions have a reputation over the last 40 or 50 years of being willing to cut off their nose to spite their face. So the United Mine Workers of America is pointing the finger at Roundhill. Roundhill is pointing its finger at the United Mine Workers of America, and what's not happening is the plant's not reopening. Now, I've developed a theory here. The Roundhill Group is a real estate investment company. So what did they really do? They purchased the facility in Ilion, New York. Apparently also purchased a barrel manufacturing plant in Tennessee. Maybe it's possible that all the Roundhill Group plans to do is sell the real estate and find someone that's willing to buy the Remington name, some other manufacturer. We don't know who that could be. What does that leave us with? That leaves us with an investment group that's not interested, clearly, in having a union shop, and that's their right. They're reopening as a new company, which means that any prior ties to the union, I think, are non-binding, absolutely, especially if the state of New York is willing to recognize them as a new company and give them tax breaks, which the mayor says is a bad thing because he'd rather have nothing than half of $175,000 a year. So do you see what's going on with this clown show? You've got clowns all around, and I don't expect good results out of this. My prediction, before this year's over, Remington's going to be dead as a manufacturing entity. The name will be sold to someone else. They may pick up some of the higher selling items, such as the 870, such as the Remington 700, and everything else is going to go poof. The Roundhill Group's going to walk away, probably figuring out how to make a pretty penny off of flipping this whole deal. That would be my guess. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm starting to think it doesn't look good, because look who's involved, look at the players, look at their history. What do you expect? And this has been Gun News in 5 minutes or less, actually 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Thanks for watching. For updates, hit click and subscribe.